Hello there everyone and welcome to this YouTube video. Today I'm going to be doing something new that I haven't done on my channel. Today I'm going to be making a review on the new Bad Batch trailer for Star Wars. I'm a pretty big Star Wars fan and I've made a couple of videos in which I play the game Star Wars Battlefront 2. And I'm specifically a big fan of this TV show Star Wars The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, which I have watched multiple times all the way through. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing and giving my predictions about the Bad Batch show trailer. If I'm correct about some things in the show with my predictions and you would like to wait for the show to come out rather than speculate about the plot with me, please click away, as I do not want to spoil something for you and make people angry. This trailer is filled with both Star Wars Rebels Easter eggs, Clone Wars Easter eggs, and many other Easter eggs from the movies, okay? Before I get into everything, let me go into the backstories of all of the Bad Batch members, and, yeah. So the Bad Batch members were defective clones with desirable mutations. The Bad Batch, they were named after Clone 99. That was their unit number. They were Clone Force 99, and Clone Trooper 99 was a defective clone like the Bad Batch, who is less fortunate, and because of his mutation, never even got to attempt to be a trooper. Instead, he worked as the head janitor on Kamino in the cloning facilities. He was well respected by many clones, and he died a hero during the Battle of Kamino. Now, before I get into the trailer, I'm going to go through all 5 members' abilities, like I just said. So first there's Wrecker. Wrecker was a clone trooper who had far greater muscle mass and strength than the average clone trooper. He was even able to lift a full Republic gunship off the ground with just himself. Second, there's Crosshair. Crosshair's mutation allows him to have enhanced sight, making him an incredible sniper. He is said to be able to hit a moving target, from 10 kilometers away, which it's said 10 clicks away, which is basically what kilometers are called in Star Wars. Third, there's Tech. Tech has an enhanced mental capacity, and he uses it to be able to handle operations that involve translation and many other things. Like, he's capable of doing almost anything with his different gadgets. Fourth, there is Echo. Echo has a long backstory in the TV show Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and he's in this show as it takes place after he joins the team. Echo was first part of the Domino Squad with 4 other members. Fives, Echo, Heavy, Cut Up, and Droidbait. You see how I got that mixed up there? 5 other members, because his name is 5. Yeah, 5s. After completing the test set to become a clone trooper on Kamino with the advice of 99, who taught them to trust and listen to each other, they were stationed on the Rishi Moon Outpost, which is an outpost very close to Kamino. On that outpost, they stopped a droid invasion of Kamino when when Heavy sacrificed his life by blowing up the base, destroying the all-clear signal, making it so the Republic knew that something was wrong. In fact, Echo, actually, there was a Battle of Kamino where Echo became a clone trooper, which is the battle that 99 died in. Echo and 5s were, after the Rishi Moon incident, Echo and 5s were the only 2 left, and they were made Advanced Recon Commando troopers. The first mission after becoming ARC troopers, Echo and 5s went with Jedi General Anakin Skywalker and Jedi General Obi-Wan Kenobi to infiltrate the Citadel prison to rescue Commander Evan Peel from capture, because Master Peel had coordinates to a route called the Nexus route, which led to between the Separatist homeworlds and the Republic homeworlds, which would give the Republic or the Separatists the ability to make a surprise attack on the other. during this mission, Echo was presumed dead after a ship blew up next to him, and his body was not recovered. In fact, the Separatists had recovered his body, and he was missing multiple limbs, as well as some damage to his brain. The Separatists gave him to the Techno Union on Skako Minor, which they used his brain to analyze the strategies of the 501st unit, which is Anakin Skywalker's unit, and who was the Jedi that he worked with many times during the Clone Wars. The captain of the 501st, Captain Rex, eventually picked up that they were using their own strategies against them, because he wrote most of the 501st strategies with Echo. So he thought that meant Echo was alive. So he went to Skako Minor with the Bad Batch crew, all 4 of those members, and Anakin Skywalker, and rescued Echo. After that mission, Echo joined the Bad Batch crew, and that's where he is right now. Finally, there's the Bad Batch's leader, Hunter. Hunter is a sergeant of the Special Operatives Bad Batch unit, and his ability is that he can sense electromagnetic signals, allowing him to find most places with electricity. Now that we know who the Bad Batch are, let's get into the trailer.
They call themselves the Bad Batch.
So this trailer, it starts with the Lucasfilm logo, as all Star Wars projects do. The first thing we see is the Bad Batch's ship. It is a transport gunship called the Havoc Marauder, arriving at Kamino. We see all 5 members of the Bad Batch on what looks to be a Kamino landing platform looking around. We then see a ship approaching what looks to be Ryloth, their ship, approaching Ryloth. We see an Imperial Provider-class cargo ship heading to a different water planet, I think might be Zygerria, because of something we see later in the trailer. Then we once again see the Bad Batch's main ship in the atmosphere of Coruscant, the Imperial and Republic capital. In the next clip, we see the Bad Batch on the planet of Felucia at night, similar to how we saw it in Season 3 of the Clone Wars. We then see the Kamino training simulation grounds seen in Season 3, Episode 1 of the Clone Wars, that we saw Echo and the rest of Domino Squad go through that simulation to become clone troopers. In the next shot, we see the Bad Batch standing with both regular clone troopers, Phase 2 clone troopers with white armor, and the 104th Battalion, known as the Wolf Pack. The 104th Battalion served under Jedi General Plo Koon, and their masks had a wolf-like design on them. A fun fact about this is the commander of the Wolf Pack, Commander Wolf, I think you can make out why it's called the Wolf Pack, removed the inhibitor chip that would make him kill his Jedi, and if he was controlling the situation in the sky of Cato Neimoidia when Order 6 went off, he could have saved Plo Koon, but sadly he was on the ground assault.
The Republic will be reorganized into the First Galactic Empire!
In the next shot, this is why I think that one of the planets seen earlier is Zygerria. In this shot, we see Hunter fighting a Zygerian on Zygerria with his knife and his armor on. The Zygerian is wielding a light whip, which the Zygerians are in fact slavers, so they use the light whip to torture their slaves. And what Hunter does is he catches the light whip around his arm while holding his knife that he has used many times in the Clone Wars, uses the light whip to pull the Zygerian forward and kick him back. The light whip is in fact a non-lethal weapon, by the way, and it's like a lightsaber, except it moves around and is elastic like a whip. So next, that scene makes a nice transfer to an explosion on an ice-covered planet that reminds me of Crownest, which we saw in Rebels. Crownest is the headquarters of Clan Ren, which we saw in Star Wars Rebels when Sabine reunites with her mom. I think that is in Season 3.
The Republic will be reorganized into the First Galactic Empire!
In the next clip, the team lands on the surface of a planet I really don't recognize, but and we see Hunter on a speeder bike on the same planet at dusk. This planet has maybe Alderaan, and it had or Naboo, because it has similar architecture and landscape to both of those planets. Next we see Wrecker jump and smash something behind him, which I think is a Separatist tank based on how it looks, but we don't get quite a good look on it. And next I think we see the team approaching the planet Felucia, and then we see more of like a standoff between the Bad Batch and other clone troopers and a gray flame trooper. Yeah, it's pretty cool to see, and they're just lining up, pointing their guns at each other. Next, we see Palpatine's saying what he says right after he killed Mace Windu and executed Order 66. The Republic will be reorganized into the First Galactic Empire. He says that to the full Senate, and at first I thought this might have been hologram altering, since he looked almost exactly the same as he did in Clone Wars, but then I realized his skin was paler and his eyes were yellow, and I remembered that in Episode 3 he used his face to be proof that the Jedi tried to assassinate him. And I thought it might be hologram altering because we saw that in Rebels when the Emperor tried to coerce Ezra into becoming his apprentice during the finale. In the next clip, we see all of the team, except Tech, sort of suiting up for battle or in battle already. We see Echo with his new very cool helmet that is like a welding helmet. It's very cool. It has like a massive visor. But then we see the Flame Trooper again with the dark gray armor, and other troopers with dark gray armor, a sniper, and what I think might be a prototype, sort of like early phases Death Trooper design. It's a taller clone with a wide visor and darker paint on his armor, and a gun that looks to me like a bit like the E-21B, which is the gun the Death Troopers had. Next we see Fennec Shand from The Mandalorian pointing a gun at someone in an area we haven't seen before. And then we see Hunter in a standoff, again with someone we can't see. But the standoff has been done many times in Star Wars. Most recently are in The Mandalorian and in Solo: A Star Wars Story. Then we see the team in the Kamino simulation, but instead of fighting Separatist droids, like Domino Squad fought in the Clone Wars, we see them fighting Imperial security droids, which are notably seen sparring with Thrawn around the finale of season 3 of Rebels. They are massive droids that look a bit like Dark Troopers, but they're just sentry droids and are guards.
That was quite an impressive display.
In the next clip, we see the wreckage of a Republic Venator-class cruiser, which transitions to a wide shot of what reminds me of the scrapyards of Baraka seen at the beginning of Fallen Order, the video game. We see Crosshair putting down his visor on the ice planet seen earlier. Most Mandalorians and snipers have this visor because it can lock onto targets. Next, we see one of the Bad Batch running from the Flame Trooper's flames, but it's so blurred I can't make out exactly who it is. Next, we see Hunter, Wrecker, and Tech running from a flying creature that we saw in the Zygerria arc that is native to the planet. They're running from that creature still on Zygerria. We then see clone troopers firing at what I think is the team, but I can't. But I don't know where exactly they are. I think they're in Kamino, but I can't be sure. Next, we see Tech fire at something that explodes next to Fennec Shand, who looks at him right after it narrows her eyes. We then see Hunter throw a knife at a sentry droid back on Kamino during the simulation and slice another one's arm off while doing a very cool backflip. Then we see Hunter. He lands next to a broken B-2 battle droid on what looks to be the Geonosian factory. And the Geonosians haven't been eradicated by the Empire yet, since they haven't built the Death Star yet, and that's why they were eradicated, so they couldn't tell anyone. Then we see Rekko and a Poncher and Hat smashing the 3 clones' heads together, which is very similar to how Zeb does that in Rebels. Then we see the tall Death Trooper come out of the ship. I'm just going to call that team the Elite Squad because it's easier to remember. But the Elite Squad comes out of a ship that looks like a Jedi ship that we see in Season 5, Episode 1 of the Clone Wars that Obi-Wan and Adi Gallia are using. We also see it in Grievous Intrigue in Season 2. We then see Hunter fight a bunch of security droids, which have bodies that look a bit like repurposed commando droids. Yeah, they look like repurposed commando droids based on the bodies. Then we get a quick shot of a large force of clone troopers and 2 AT-TE tanks firing at something. We see the team firing at what I think is the clone troopers we saw earlier, firing at those clone troopers in front of their ship. We then see Hunter climbing out of what I think might be a small sarlacc, with the tentacles grabbing Hunter and trying to pull him out. We then, or it could maybe be one of those tripwire monsters we saw on Umbara during the Umbara arc that they used to capture General Krell. We then see an aged up Tarkin congratulate the Bad Batch, and I find it a little bit weird how Tarkin aged so much since we last saw him in Clone Wars. If this is supposed to take place right after Order 66, Tarkin would only be, he looks like he aged like 20 years in around a year and a half since we last saw him in Season 5 of Clone Wars. He looks basically just like he does in Rebels, and which doesn't make sense to me. And if you thought Obi-Wan aged bad between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, Tarkin aged badly. Then we see the Elite Squad in their Jedi ship firing at the Havoc Marauder, and then we see a shot of the security droids running at the place that we saw Hunter fight them earlier, a shot of Crosshair firing, a shot of Tech, who seemed to have programmed a security droid to fight him, while on the sentry droid to fight for him while riding on the droid soldiers. He like punches in air, sort of like motion capture, and the sentry droid punches another one. This is all in the simulation on Kamino. And then we get a a shot of Crosshair getting blasted back by a massive explosion that reminds me of the ion bomb that destroyed all of the droids on Malastare that awakened the Zillibeast in Season 2 of the Clone Wars. Yeah. And he's getting blasted back by that blast. And yeah, and I also wanted to add once again how cool Echo's helmet looked. I'm really excited to see him in that show. But before I go back to anything, let me quickly explain what I think might happen in the show. I think that in this show, the Bad Batch are going to be right where we saw them last, leaving with Echo to complete the next mission. I think that if not in the first episode, in the beginning episodes, Order 66 will be called, and the Empire will rise and replace the Republic. Oh, and I also wanted to talk about the logo. Finally, we see the red logo burned away to reveal the rustic metal color of the Star Wars The Bad Batch logo, which I think resembles the end of the Clone Wars, the end of the Separatists, the end of the Jedi, and most importantly, the burning of the Republic, and out of its ashes rises the Empire. I think that that Order 66 will be called. This is my prediction for the plot, by the way. And I think that Order 66 will be called. They will be, and then to enlist in the Empire, the clones will have to go back to Kamino to attempt it, try out. And I think they will pass those tests, then do a couple missions for the Empire, like the one on Zygerria and on Felucia, and then which will earn them a praise from Moff Tarkin. Then they find out about something that's really bad. Maybe it's the Death Star. That's why Hunter's on Geonosis, or something else. And they'll run into Fennec Shand, who is maybe tasked to hunt them by the Empire after they betray the Empire by finding something out, and they'll go undercover, and they'll end up completing the mission, maybe destroying like a pre-thing of Empire, which is like why it takes so long to build and why Galen Erso needed to come back to rebuild it. So yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Sorry about the little bit of a glitchy bad mic right now. I'm getting a new one. But that's all I really have to talk about today. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to let me know in the comments, and I'll make more reviews on not only the Bad Batch show and its details, but other Star Wars stuff, like maybe Season 3 of Mandalorian, or the Kenobi show, which is set to film on January 4th. And if I missed anything, please let me know in the comments below. Once again, thanks for watching. Peace out.